with the help of variable. With the help of variable. And next again it will not support the triggers, it will allow the triggers to execute. It will support, or it will allow the triggers. It will support to execute the triggers if they exist, on specified table. But you thought that you doesn't need this variable execution, the trigger execution. In such cases, go for the next one called as in table name or view name variable with the fast load. It's supposed to pass the table at a runtime with the help of variable, and it will suppress the triggers. It will suppress the triggers if the table, if the specified table consists. And the next one, SQL command. What is the use of it? Means it is used to define native SQL. It is used to define native SQL statement. It is used to define native SQL statement. So it is about these two objects called as an OLEDB source and OLEDB destination. So we'll try to take an example on this. So once again I'll try to create a solution, project and package. Within the package we'll try to use this source and OLEDB source and OLEDB destination. Now for example, I'm assuming that I'm having a table called as an src underscore emp. So I'm using OLEDB source for src underscore emp table, which is consisting some columns. The columns are like, for example, employee number, employee name, salary, commission and department number. It is my source object. On the table I'm saying as an src underscore emp, which is consisting some columns. In the similar way, I'm having one more object called as an OLEDB destination, and this one I'm using to work on the table called as an tgt underscore emp, and this table is consisting some columns in this format. So it is another object. It is an OLEDB destination. So I created for the table called as an tgt underscore emp, and it is consisting some columns. So I'm placing these two objects in my package. Now what are the fields present called as an employee number, employee name? I'll try to map these columns. See, if the names are same, automatically the mapping will be done automatically. But if the names are different, it is our responsibility to map it explicitly. So, the employee number from source object, I am linking to employee number of destination object. Same way, employee name of source object, I am linking to employee name of destination. Same way, salary of source to salary of destination, commission of source to commission of destination, and depart number of source to depart number of destination. So, like this, I am creating a ETL process. Where these objects are present means in the data flow. Data flow will present in the control flow. Control flow is present in the package. So, we will try to do this particular activity. So, I am trying to open the SQL Server, data tools. First of all, at my E drive, I am creating one folder like DURGASOFT. Under this, I will try to create the solution, under that project and other things. So, I am saying file, new. I opened the SQL Server data tools. Within this, I am choosing file, new, project. Under business intelligence, I am choosing integration services. On the right side panel, I am choosing integration services project and give some name as per your requirement. So, I am specifying something like project name is SSIS underscore project, some name. And my solution name, I am specifying something like this. Business solution, some name. Where I am creating means under DURGASOFT. Click on OK. So, it is created a solution which is visible on the left side. Under that, a project. Under the project, we are having a package. I will rename this package. Right click on this package, rename, and I will give the name as OLEDB source underscore OLEDB destination. So, I am using both objects here, OLEDB source and OLEDB destination. Under this is I am working with a table names. So, I will say underscore table. This is my package name. Now, we are familiar with this toolbox and these 5 tabs like control flow, data flow, parameters, event handlers, package explorer. Already we have discussed about all these things. So, being in a control flow, what I am trying to do means from the toolbox, I am dragging my data flow task into the control flow. I am dragging the data flow task into control flow. Once that object is placed, now double click on this data flow task or maybe perform right click on this data flow task and you say edit. Then within this we want to place a source and a destination. like what we have showed in this particular image file in this format. So in the toolbox we are having something called as an other sources. Under this place you are having OLEDB source. Drag this and put into your data flow. So we got the OLEDB source, but we should give the connectivity and you should tell from where you want to read the data. So from where you want to read, that specification you can give directly table name, or maybe with the help of variable, or maybe with the help of native SQL statement. First of all, we will go with the table name. So I am going with double click or right click edit. Here we are having connection manager. If you are having any shared connections in your project, it displays so that you can select it, but right now I doesn't have any shared connection objects, so I will go with the new. Now here I am using one source connection. This is a connection object for my source database. I will select this and I will click on OK button. After that, in the data access mode, I am choosing tabular view. What is the table you want to use means, for example, src_emp. Now, whenever you told the table name, automatically it will track what are the columns present under that particular table. So if you want to view those things, maybe you can go to the columns, or maybe here you can click on preview. So here I clicked on preview button, it is showing me the data in this format. But here it is showing me that there are totally 5 columns: employee number, employee name, salary, commission, department number. Now do you need all these columns to the next level? If you need it, fine, you can simply click on OK button. But if it doesn't need all these columns, only one column or only 2 columns you need, in such cases, first of all close this window. On the left side there is an option called as columns. Under columns, if you observe, here we got one object which is showing me the fields like employee number, employee name, salary, commission, department number. So do you need all these columns or only few columns? Depending on your wish, you specify. That means if it doesn't need that respective column, then you can uncheck that particular checkbox. Like here I deselected commission, so that value will not come outside of your source object. So what are the fields you need? For those fields you place the check marks. It is not necessary to select all the fields. Depending on your business activity, choose only the required columns from this place. After that, click on OK button. Now source object is ready, and if you observe in the bottom in the connection managers, we got the connection object also. Now whatever the data we are reading from this OLEDB source, we want to put into OLEDB destination. So I am going with other destinations. From here I am choosing OLEDB destination, place it here, and link up your OLEDB source to OLEDB destination. Link up your OLEDB source to OLEDB destination. But we need to give the connection, we have to tell the table name. So double click on this OLEDB destination. If your already destination connection is available, select it. But right now in my system it is not showing any connection here for destination, because I doesn't have shared destination connections. So click on the new button and choose the destination connection from here. If it is not there, you should create it. Select this destination, click on OK, and then here I am choosing tabular view. Now I am specifying something called as table name tgt underscore emp. But what are the columns present in the source object or in the input object? That column should be mapped with the columns of target object. For that reason, explicitly you should click on mappings node on left side. And here if you observe, check it up whether that properly mapped or not. Employee number to employee number, name to name, salary to salary, commission to commission, depart number to department number. Means all the columns are mapped properly. So click on OK button. So by this we have defined the ETL process. Save it and then execute it. Now for example, this is my source table. And here how many records I am having means, for example, 15 rows are there here. 15 records are present with me. I opened one more SQL window. Just I am writing some statements. So my target table is teacher underscore emp, as well as I am having one more table. Right now my both tables are empty. Now for example, I am assuming that I am having one trigger is there. I am having one trigger block is there. So here I am trying to create a trigger in this format. So I am trying to create trg underscore emp on tget underscore emp. Whenever an insert activity is happening on this target table, then I am inserting a record into some temporary table, some error table, some static record I am writing here. Some static record I am trying to write the data. Through trigger I am writing a temporary record into my error table through this trigger. So first of all I will execute this trigger so that object will be created. So successfully object is created, trigger object, and if you observe your destination tables, teacher underscore emp is empty and error table is also empty. Now here OLEDB destination, already we have specified something called as a tabular view. Tabular view means I told that it executes triggers. I told it will allow the triggers to execute. I told. Now already my target table is having a trigger and that is writing some temporary record into some temporary table. So we will check it up whether it is happening or not. So whenever I execute, along with my execution process, here because it is running in a tabular view mode, even trigger will be executed. Because of the trigger, we will get one record into the temporary table or into the error table. Just will observe it. So I will go to the file menu, save all. then you say start, execution is done. So here for every record, whenever it is hitting the destination table, it will call the trigger, because I written for insert. So whenever insertion activity is happening, immediately it will call the trigger. That means because of trigger, this temporary record will be written for 5 times into your database table. So this record, employee code as 1, there will be 5 records into this error table. So we will check it up that. So previously I told that my target table is empty and error table is also empty. Now we will say execute. So this is my original table called as a tz_emp, which is consisting approximately 15 rows. Along with that, here it is a temporary table or error table. Even there we are having records. How many records are there? Totally 15. I have not performed any activity to insert a record into this error table in my ETL process, but it is coming up. Why means because internally it is calling the trigger. So fine. So for example, you thought that the trigger is not required. It should not load or it should not execute the trigger. So then how do you specify? Means in the same example, I will apply that property. Or maybe you can define as a second example, but I am trying to show within this same place. I am going to OLEDB destination, double click. Instead of tabular view, I will choose tabular view fast load. Tabular view fast load. Once again go to the mappings, check whether the mappings are in the proper manner or not. If they are not in proper form, you try to define them. After that, click on OK. File menu, save all, and we will try to clear the temporary table data once. So I cleared both the tables. So both tables are empty. Now we are writing the data into our own target table, but at the same time I am saying that don't call the trigger. Means the data what you are inserting into error table through trigger, that will not perform. Execute the data tools. Start. Execution is done. And here if you check it up, both the tables, my tz_emp is having 15 rows, whereas error table I doesn't have any data. Why I doesn't have data means because we said that suppress the trigger. It is not executed. That is the reason we doesn't got any records into this error table. So this is what fast load and normal process as per source. As per the destination. Next, I will take as in one more package. I am renaming this under SSS package. I created a new package. I am renaming this. I am specifying like OLEDB source with variable. Even for destination also we can implement it, but right now I am implementing only for the source. What I will try to do means, first of all I will create a variable. For that variable I will assign some value, and based on that I will try to read the data and I will try to write the data into destination place. So to work with a variable concept, I am taking a separate tables, like I am using a table like here OLEDB source, and here I am working with a variable called as src obj, source object or source name, something like that. I will say source name. This is my variable name. And what is the value I will give to this variable means, for example, src underscore items table I am giving. This is my source, and this is consisting some columns like item number, item name, maybe quantity, maybe rate per unit, some fields. So, I am trying to use this table. Same way I am having OLEDB destination. This OLEDB destination I am working with a table, or if you need to use, if you want to use any variable, you can use the variable name, it is your wish. So, for time being I am saying tgt underscore items, straight away I am using the table name, and this table is consisting some fields like this. Now, we will try to map these objects. So, the first one I am trying to work with the help of variable. Even in the destination also you can use a variable. So, and these columns I am mapping so that the data will be transferred to the destination at the time of execution process. So, I am trying to take a data flow task, but before that I am going with an SSIS menu, variables, add a new variable, click on this add variable, give some name as per your wish. So, here I mentioned that my variable name is src name, so I am giving that name here, src name, source name, and I am saying that data type is a string data type, and the value is, for example, src underscore items. This is my value. So, same way for destination, if you want to create anything means you can create it, but for time being I am creating only for the source purpose. Then I will come back to the data flow, double click on this data flow task, then drag OLEDB source into the data flow, double click on OLEDB source, and here I am saying new, I am choosing source connection. The next I am using data access mode with the variable name. So, that means I am saying that my table name I am getting with the help of variable. So, what is that variable means? src name, just now what we have created. So, I will select that. But the table is consisting a value called as an src underscore items. Immediately your tool will pick up the metadata from that particular table. So, if you go to the columns you can view that. But I got some error, check that object exists in the database. So, I gave the name as src underscore items. We will check it up whether the table is available or not. src underscore items 1. I will use this second table. So, I will change my variable name and I will come back here. So, I am going to the SSIS variables, and I gave the spelling as a wrong spelling here first of all. So, items 1. SRs underscore items 1 I am using. Then I will come back to this OLEDB source connection, and here I am choosing table name or view name variable and SRC name. Then go to the columns. Automatically it is able to pick up the column names and it is able to display. Click on OK button. After that, I am trying to go with OLEDB destination. OLEDB destination. Link this OLEDB source to OLEDB destination and double click on this OLEDB destination. Choose the destination connection. After that, specify tabular view. If you want to work with the triggers means, without trigger means, choose as in tabular view fast load. If you are having any variable, then choose the second one, that is variable name variable, something like that. But right now I am working with the fast load option, and the table is TGT underscore items 1. TGT underscore items 1 I am using, and go to the mappings. Here item number, name, quantity, rate per units are mapped, but for the amount column I doesn't have the mapping because I doesn't have any input for this. So whenever you doesn't map anything to the column, by default that will be treated as null value. That means for the amount we will get null data for time being here. Click on OK. Save it and execute it. So for example, here I am working with a table called as an items 1. My source table is consisting 4 records, whereas my destination I doesn't have any data. So I will execute my ETL process. Here I created a variable. Within the variable I gave some name, and that name I associated with OLEDB source. So from there it will read the data and it will write the data to the specified destination object. So file menu, save all, start.